Very soon, ladies and gentlemen, filling out applications and sending application PDFs will be the thing of the past because there's a new technique emerging, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the Knowledge Express. Hit that like button because we're getting started. It's Mastermind Mondays, and we're talking about insider secrets and cutting-edge methods to help you master the rental game and level up. Yes, you heard it correctly. Completing applications will never be the same, and now we're ushering in a brand new era of digital applications, only available on 36010x.com, and that is the link. In this series, we're going to talk about how to properly create a digital profile, what's a digital profile, and why I'm not going to fill out an application anymore. And the answer to that is video. This is the 21st century, and today we're going to talk about how to step up your game so you can be more competitive and also get the apartment that you want and be at the top of the list of any landlord who's considering your application from other people competing for the same apartment. How we're going to help you do that is by teaching you how to professionally record your digital profiles. Basically a short bio about you that talks about why you're qualified to rent. It has some really key components. There's nothing for you to memorize. There is no rehearsing, and we're going to give you really simple instructions so that you can get through this blazing fast. So without further delay, let's get into tip number 1. So in this section, we're going to help you prepare for the digital profile. The first tip in this preparation process is choosing your environment. So the first thing you want to do, similar to how I've done in this video, is I've chosen a quiet, clean, and well-lit area to create a recording. And so you'd want to do the same thing. What you want to avoid is a place that's going to look messy or is going to be loud, because you want the landlord to be able to hear you clearly, and also you don't want it to be messy because it's going to make the landlord fear that wherever you're going to move into next will also be messy. In step number 2, we're going to talk about clothing and appearance. So clothing and appearance is going to be a really big part of presenting yourself to the landlord, because if you look unclean or kind of disheveled, that's going to make the landlord feel like, A, you don't respect yourself enough, or you're not going to respect the process well enough, or potentially the best you can do is look all crazy and disheveled, and maybe that's what you're going to do to the apartment that you end up moving into. So first appearances, that's really important. You've heard this before. Put your best foot forward, and it doesn't hurt to take a shower before you record. You're going to feel good, you're going to feel refreshed, and that's really going to come across as you being vibrant and healthy. Another point for how you dress is you don't want to appear overly revealing or inappropriate. Treat this as an interview and show up for the video business casual. The third tip in this step is attitude. You want to have a positive attitude. Sure, you might be presenting information that might be difficult for you to talk about or may not always be positive, but present it in a positive way. And if there was a segment of your life that was maybe not so pleasant, you should always end on a positive note, because no matter how bad a situation is, there's always either a silver lining or a lesson or a positive outcome or a positive direction or something that you want to accomplish to elevate yourself and to improve your life. Tip number 4 of this section is communicate. You want to communicate in a way that's going to be clear. Hand gestures are good, but you don't want to make aggressive hand gestures. Sometimes when people speak, they do a lot of this and hand pounding, and that doesn't communicate peace and prosperity and calmness, and that's what landlords are looking for. They don't want to see aggression on the video. This is not a rap video. This is not a rock and roll concert with hank banging and all of that stuff. I apologize if my hand gestures are wrong. I've never been to a rock concert before. But the point I'm trying to make here is you want to speak in a way that's going to help the landlord feel confidence in you, and that you're going to be respectful and quiet and peaceful. And it's important not to be overly rehearsed. You want to appear natural, or at least be natural, be relaxed, and communicate in a way that's going to help the landlord learn about you and feel confident that if they choose you, they're going to make the right decision. Tip number 2 is recording your profile. So the first you want to focus on is going to be mounting the camera in a way that's going to be stable. You want to use a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, you can sometimes use a bookshelf or some books, or you can prop up the phone in a way that's going to be stable and it's not going to be moving around. And that's really important, that you have a stable, solid surface so that you're not holding the phone. It's going to be impossible for you to hold the phone and communicate well, because the hand's going to get tired and it's going to be all wobbly and moving around. That's no good. You can either invest in $15 into a tripod, or you can just set up your furniture at home or wherever you're going to end up recording that's going to create a stable shot. The next point is you want to have the camera fully charged, because one thing that happens when phone cameras or external cameras start waning in battery life, either the audio or the video starts changing in the quality. So basically you'll have the audio start trailing or it won't be as crisp. There might be some static in some cases. And then also the video, sometimes the color quality will change or the focus will change. And so you don't want that happening because it'll distort the shot. The best thing you can do is either have the phone or camera fully charged or otherwise have it connected to an external power source before you get started. Depending on the phone model that you have, some of the speakers are designed in such a way that if you have ambient sound or ambient noise, that it won't pick up on the microphone. So even if you're 4 or 5 feet away, it'll make a huge impact because you just won't sound very clear. So one way to combat that is to get a microphone. So that's going to be a good solution. You don't want to be too close to the phone when you're talking to them because you want to set it up so that the shot maybe includes mid-torso to the top. As far as camera position, when you record your video, it'll be okay to generally have it in portrait, landscape, and portrait, because most landlords watch their videos in portrait mode. However, it's going to be important for you to have a front-facing camera so that you can see where the phone is positioned, because you want to avoid the situation where you're looking at the dead center of the phone, but you're not looking at the camera lens. On my phone, you can see that the camera lens is right here in the top right. So you want to make sure you're always talking to the camera lens, because if you're not looking at the camera lens and maybe you're looking at dead center of the phone, then the recording will look a little bit like this. And how comfortable would you be if I were talking to you but I was not making eye contact? So eye contact is going to be a really important part of this recording because it establishes trust and it allows the viewer of the video to feel like you're talking to them. And so when you're talking to them, then they feel like they're involved in the conversation. And so speaking to the camera will create trust, and the more trust there is, the more likely the transaction will happen. And then as far as the audio is concerned, you want to project your voice. Obviously you don't want to yell because sometimes that's going to peak out the audio and then it's going to make the sound really distorted. But you want to make sure that you're projecting in a way that allows the landlord to hear what you're saying very clearly, and very important that you don't speak too fast and you're able to communicate the facts. And the other very important part is that when you speak, you want to enunciate, because a lot of times when you're communicating and the audio may be not so clear and you don't want to sound all jumbled up, the audio quality is above all the most important thing that you can do in your video recording. A microphone like this, obviously you can spend a whole lot of money on microphones like this, but generally you can buy something online for about $20 and it'll do a good job. So that was the last section of our digital profile video, a video on applications of the 21st century. You can share us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, connect us to your network and help them learn the new ways of applying for apartments, because it is coming to replace the application process that everyone has grown to know. The future is coming and it is undeniable, unstoppable, and unparalleled as to anything you've ever done in the past that you'll be doing in the future. Remember that we are a community and we're a family. We're here to empower each other and to help each other build up and get better at the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. Invite your friends and family to participate, exchanging ideas, learning from each other, and then we can create better content to empower you. And my disclaimer, I am not a realtor, broker, attorney. I do not offer advice. I don't offer consultation. I'm offering my real life experience that I've accumulated over the past 10 years. Thank you so much for participating, and I'll see you next time.